Hello, happy Wednesday. Welcome to Q&A Wednesday, our segment for this month. If you have not checked out our previous segments last month, make sure to go check it out, okay? And for the rest, the couple months before that, for the past year, this whole year, all right? If you haven't caught up with all of it, make sure to do that. All right, I'm Intelexx, your host. All right, and we are going to be talking about topic that we've been on for a couple of months now, which is how can we heal ourselves, part 5. But before we jump into that, just a couple of announcements. If you need any assistance with anything from your business to your brand to honing in on what it is that you need to do, go to Intelexx.com. Look at all of the products and services that we offer to see if anything resonates with you. Book a free consultation. That's right, free 99, so you can get a customized and personalized plan specific to your unique artistic needs. Subscribe to our email list. It's free 99. It's a way for you to stay in the know and find out all the things that we have going on for the month. Follow us on all social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can see all of the content that we have. And join our intellectual community, the Artrepreneurs Hub, our app, a place of support, a place where it's an intimate setting where you can get the help that you need, get questions answered, share your content, and just have that support system that you need among like-minded individuals with the same goal as you, all right, to better themselves. All right, so if you are interested, make sure to connect with us. There's also a link on Intelexx.com if you are unable to find it, but it's in the Mighty Networks app. Search your Play or Apple Store, search the Mighty Networks, create an account, search for us. We are right there. All right, so just wanted to plug that really quickly. But yes, we are in part 5 of how we can heal ourselves. There have been so much gems that have been dropped throughout these parts. And again, if you have not watched any of the previous episodes, make sure to check them out. Got some goodies in there for you. All right, because healing is a part of all of our journeys. And if we're not healing, we are hurting people, and we are bleeding on people who didn't cut us, and we are hurting people who didn't hurt us, and that's not fair to them. All right, and you could be a victim of being hurt by someone who you didn't do anything to. You could be a victim of that, but we don't have to stay in that cycle. We can change that, and that's based on our decisions, right? Okay, so we are going to pick back up where we left off with Miss Stephanie talking about different ways that you can heal. So let's listen to what she's got to say. And make sure y'all drop in the comments anything that you have done to help heal yourself, anything that's worked for you, or anything that you might be struggling with so that we can help you out, all right? We in this together.
And family that they wanted to within their own minds so that they wouldn't be held captive to what they actually experienced, things that they really had no control over because it was the actions of other people. And so that I thought was a very powerful way to, if you're ready to work directly in your trauma, these are things that you can ask a therapist if they are trained to do. You can say, I'm interested in utilizing psychodrama or role playing to address specific traumas. And that way you can maybe narrow down your search to exactly what you're looking for. Another thing you could look for in a therapist is a therapist who is trained in EMDR, which stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. EMDR is designed to help you talk through your trauma in a way that is desensitizing you to the traumatic feelings and physical responses that you have. So maybe you go to re-experiencing, maybe your heart starts beating really fast, maybe you start sweating, becoming panicky. And EMDR is a treatment that is designed to address those physiological responses to memories of your trauma. You keep going through it with the therapist until you are having a much more desensitized reaction. You're able to safely separate the present from the past. Some studies have shown that EMDR is actually even more effective than Prozac and other antidepressants for addressing depressive symptoms, particularly those that are connected with a traumatic experience. This is particularly great for adult trauma. A singular event, if you were in a bad car accident, for example, and you need to be able to think about that event without becoming completely frozen and stuck in that memory, without feeling certain things in your body, right? This is a great way to address specific traumas. Now, it can be helpful for complex trauma that you may have dealt with on multiple occasions, but that usually needs to be coupled with more extensive therapy and other methods to help you deal with the relational pieces, for example, or other factors that might not be able to be addressed through EMDR. So some of my tips that I have found to be most effective with clients, they are a little bit more involved in the trauma process because I am on the therapy end, so I'm not going to be able to conduct acupuncture with my clients, for example. Some things would be like writing a letter to the person who may have hurt you or the people involved in your trauma, whether that be parents who you feel did not accurately protect you, or a family member who was involved in your trauma directly, things like that. You could write a letter to them expressing what happened from your point of view, how it made you feel, and how it has impacted you to this day. Now, if you have the goal of also giving this person the letter, which is totally optional, you could burn it, throw it away, keep it, whatever you want to do. But if you do have the intention of giving it to them, I'd also encourage you to add into that letter what they could possibly do to help make you feel more at peace with the situation. Whether that be a request for an apology, a request for acknowledgement that it happened, maybe even an explanation from their perspective, a sit-down dinner. Because if they are willing to make those changes or provide that to you, you want to give them the opportunity to fully process and think about everything that you included in your letter. I also do another intervention that's similar to the psychodrama, but a bit different. I'm very big on writing, and I think that rewriting or just resharing the story from a more ideal, heroic perspective. This is a narrative technique that is often used. This way, you could say the story how you wished it happened. You could say, I screamed, for example, or my parents came and saved me. Just retelling the story how you wish it ended, so that even if it's false and never happened, you have some positive narratives surrounding that experience. And lastly, this is one that is really important for a lot of my clients, especially for my clients who might be dealing with the traumatic end to a relationship, whether that be the person passed away or cheated, or even just an abrupt breakup that was unexpected without closure. What I see happening so often is that my clients will completely avoid songs, artists, places. I've even had clients say they can't get off on certain exits because they are avoiding the memories or feelings associated with these cherished places that meant a lot to them with those people. It could be a grocery store that they are avoiding. I encourage my clients to start slowly revisiting those triggers. What we'll normally do is make a list of all the things that they avoid. It could be a certain streaming service. It could be a certain area in town. It could be something as simple as logging into one of your social media accounts or getting on a dating app. There are so many triggers that can come after you have had some sort of traumatic experience, especially interpersonally. And we make a list and then I rank them. Okay, what's the most invasive to the least invasive? And they'll say maybe, okay, logging back into this social media app is not going to be as bad as listening to this song. So we rank them and we start making our way through those triggers so that they can slowly start reclaiming aspects of their life that they have been denying themselves since the traumatic event. So if you are dealing with a traumatic experience that has made it so that you have all of these holes in your life, places you don't go, things you can't talk about, then I would highly encourage you to start slowly, bit by bit, re-engaging and creating positive memories outside of that person or outside of that experience in that space. Take your time. You don't want to be re-traumatized, but what I find most of the time is that my clients are pleasantly surprised that what they expected to feel in those spaces or listening to those things, it was no match for the fear that they had about those things, right? So like the actual experience did not meet their expectations. So if you are going to take away anything today from how I would encourage you to work through your trauma, start processing and reintegrating yourself into your life, I would encourage you to try some of those things and let me know. Have you tried any of these already and you saw success or failure with them? Or if you do go out and try them, please be sure to come back to the video and let us know how it's going. Let's create a community of people who are in their healing process and able to support each other. Okay, so those are some things that you can try. And I wanted to also address some of the comments and questions that I got in my last video. So the first thing is, a lot of you very accurately pointed out that I was saying disassociation instead of dissociation. I appreciate you guys for pointing that out for me. I'm actually surprised. I have no excuse for that. I think I've actually been mispronouncing and probably misspelling that for a while. So thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. And the second thing that I want to talk about is quite a few of you were saying that, hey, everyone is traumatized. Everyone has experienced trauma. Now, I will say that while having negative experiences obviously is a part of life and is very common, you know, we all have our own versions of things that have changed us forever, right? To experience a form of trauma and to be traumatized are not the same thing. To be traumatized, for you to get a diagnosis of PTSD, for example, typically a therapist or doctor is going to look to see whether or not you were able to function within your day-to-day life in a way that is productive to society, conducive to your goals. But to be traumatized is usually in a way where we're stopped in our tracks. You know, our life is not progressing forward. You know, we're having difficulty articulating our feelings as a result of this experience. We're having difficulty feeling areas within our body because of this experience. So while I do know that the experience of trauma is becoming more and more well known, I do think it is a stretch to say that everyone is traumatized. So those are some suggestions based on the Body Keeps the Score that you could try to address some of the physiological trauma responses that you are having, or even cognitive trauma responses that you are having. If there are any therapists watching this or people who are in therapy who would like to see a follow-up video about some ideas for interventions, questions to ask in therapy based on the Body Keeps the Score training and book, let me know. I can do a follow-up video like that. I'm so glad that so many of you found the last video to be helpful for you on your journey of healing, and I want to be able to provide you guys with any further videos that will help you in that process. So please don't hesitate to let me know your comments and suggestions down below. Again, my name is Stephanie Yates Anyabwile, Steph Anya for short. I truly appreciate you for watching this video all the way until the end. That really helps me with the YouTube algorithm and everything, so I thank you. I ask that you subscribe to this channel, like this video, and please share it with a friend, a few friends, followers. That really helps me too. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you.
What's on your mind? What's on your mind?
All right, what did y'all think about that? So I know she talked about a lot of different things last time as far as how you can heal from your trauma, which is something that we all deal with in different ways. We all express our trauma in different ways. So, you know, what she focused on this time around was psychodrama, working directly in your trauma, right? EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, where you are addressing your physiological responses so that you don't have the same type of trauma response, like how people who have PTSD, where they think they're back in whatever memory that continues to quote unquote haunt them, being able to see the memory or be in that memory and it not affect you in that way to where it's like a re-traumatization, right? They say it works better than a lot of the depression medications like Prozac. It helps you to separate the present from the past and let you know, like, listen, this happened, but you're not there. You're over here now, and it's okay. So, yeah, so that is EMDR. If you've experienced that, let us know. That's something that I've experienced personally, going to different therapy sessions, and it was definitely helpful for me. Um, what was your experience like if you've had it? Would you consider it if you have not? All things to think about, right? Also, writing a letter to all the people who've hurt you, creating a list first, figuring out who hurt you the most, who hurt you the least, everybody that hurt you, writing a letter to each and every single one of them, choosing what to do with that letter, whether you're going to give it to them, whether you're going to burn it, bury it, but it's all a form of releasing that trauma, that pain, so that you can move on from it. Even going as far as visiting people at their grave sites, or if you have their ashes or anything connected to them, and kind of having a conversation as if they're still alive, if they've passed on, just to kind of get it out there. Or if you want to put that letter there, different ways that you can kind of get through your trauma. Also, slowly revisiting your triggers and creating those positive memories in the different places where you were traumatized. So instead of thinking or connecting those emotions, those feelings, that fear, that pain, that hurt with those places or with the songs or whatever, creating new memories to replace those things. All right, so that's different ways that we can heal ourselves. All right, we are going to move right along and slow me down if you have any questions. But again, let us know what things have helped you in your trauma. We want to know. All right, so we're going to hear from someone else. Let's check him out.
Hey, welcome again to another episode of Dangerous But Good. Craig Wilkinson, and just great to be with you again. We're going to discuss today, if you're going to give your best, you need to be your best. If you're going to be your most dangerous, in other words, the most powerful force for good, you need to be the best possible version of yourself. And that applies physically, emotionally, spiritually, in every different way. I'm going to hone in today on emotionally. The journey from baby to adulthood, from child to adulthood, is a perilous one. And very few people, in fact, I would go as far as saying not a single person arrives at adulthood completely whole emotionally. When I say completely whole, I mean without any insecurities, with a deep sense of self and who I am, and confidence and belief in my identity and what I have to offer the world, without any triggers, without any sensitivities, without any bad habits. Life is tough. Our upbringing is tough. Our journey into adulthood as a man and as a woman is fraught with challenges. There are four really key questions that every human being needs answered. One is the question of identity. Who am I? Who am I really? The other one is a question of belonging. What is my tribe? Where do I belong? What is my place underneath the sun? The third question is one of competence. Do I actually have what it takes to be everything the world needs me to be? These are very burning questions on the heart of every human being. And the other one is validity. Does my life count? Do I matter? And these are questions that are often not very well answered in our journey to adulthood. If you look at three key players on every man and every woman's journey from boy and from girl to man and woman, three key players. It's the father, it's the mother, and it's society, the environment in which we operate. And, as a father, I was a single dad for many years, father of a boy, Luke, and a girl, Blythe. I'm going to just talk about the value and the need and the role that a father plays in this journey from a child to an adult in the life of a boy and a girl. I've said before, and I'll say it over and over again, both boys and girls need both moms and dads. And when I say mom and dad, it can be a mother figure or a biological mother, a father figure or preferably a biological father. Not, in fact, in South Africa, very few people grew up with a present engaged biological father, but it can be an uncle, it can be a grandfather. We talked about that. But let me talk about how the crucial importance of a father in raising a young boy or young girl to healthy adulthood. And I'll talk about my experiences with my children because they've been absolutely phenomenal. Let's just start off by saying the boys and girls are different, equally valuable, worthy of equal opportunity, but different. Anyone who's raised a boy and a girl will know that. You give a bicycle to a young boy and a bicycle to a young girl, and I guarantee you in 3 weeks' time, those bicycles are going to look different. Because for the boy, it's not enough just to get on the bike, travel from A to B. He's got to try no hands and then ramping and then all kinds of crazy stunts. For a girl, less so. I mean, you do get the tomboys that are girls, but less so. I remember when my kids went through their matric dances, very different experience for a boy and a girl, very different experience. For my son, it was, oh, Dad, Friday's my matric dance. It's already Wednesday. I need a jacket, Off we go to any store and we buy something off the shelf. He puts on, cool, Dad. Daughter, different story, man. I mean, it starts 3 to 6 months prior to the event. Dad, I need a dress. And then you go to the mall and you go through every single shop and try every single dress, and none of them quite work. So you got to have one custom made. And then you do that. You go and pick out the material and the color and the designer, and it gets one, and you think, oh, it's over. No. It's only just starting, because then you need the accessories, the handbag, the shoes, the earrings, the hair. I mean, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. A guy called John Eldridge wrote a beautiful book called Wild at Heart, and he talks about the drivers of the masculine soul and the drivers of the feminine soul. And of course there's overlap. I mean, every man, woman, child, every human being wants to be loved, a sense of belonging, identity. The questions are asked. But there are some nuances and differences. He talks about the 3 drivers of a masculine soul, and it's the desire for a battle to fight, the desire for an adventure to live, and the desire for a beauty to pursue. Battle, adventure, and beauty are wired into the heart of man. You look at the movies that men have made famous, and for me, it's very difficult for me and my wife to choose a movie. We take turns, because the kind of movie I want and the kind of movie she wants are often very different. And the movies that men want, what are they? Well, they've got all those 3 components: battle, adventure, beauty. And battle doesn't have to be a physical battle. It's not about size and power. It's about pitting your wits and your strengths in a noble fight, a noble battle. You take Mahatma Gandhi, tall, skinny guy, pacifist, but he brought the British Army to its knees. He fought a battle. Every man wants a battle to fight. And all of these movies, whether it's the Die Hard or whatever the franchise is, it's got a battle to fight, man. It's got the beauty, the interest, and it's got the adventure, the car chase, the mayhem. These are wired into the heart of man. He talks about the desires on the heart of a woman, and it's the 3 corollaries. It's the desire to be fought for, the desire for an adventure to share, and the desire for a beauty to unveil. It's beautiful. And I look at my daughter, she desired in going to that matric dance to be beautiful. And beauty is something we often misconstrue. Beauty is not about external things. That's part of it. It's about what do you have to bring to the world that's beautiful. You take a young man who lives alone, and then he gets married, and a woman moves in with him. I mean, the house or the dwelling after the woman moves in is a totally different story. She just brings a beauty and a grace and a something, to it. The fridge is different. Everything looks different. The curtains are different because a woman brings that grace and that beauty. Of course, a woman brings power, and of course, a man can bring beauty. But in the heart of a woman, this desire to be fought for. I often say to guys, man, the best foreplay is to let the woman in your life know that you would go to the ends of the world to her. You'd stand up for her. You'd fight the beast for her. You're there for her. You'd fight for her. Every woman wants to know that she's worth being fought for. Women are more relational than men generally, and they want an adventure to share. A woman wants to be part of a bigger story. She wants to participate in this beautiful adventure of life. And the beauty to unveil just goes without saying. So men and women are different. When my daughter Blythe was 2.5 years old, and I'm getting now into the experience of a father and what we need to do to answer the questions of our children's hearts, and this journey from boy to man and girl to womanhood. When my daughter was 2.5, doctors said to us that she'd need an operation on her heart. She had a small hole in one of the walls of her heart, and it needed a surgery. Luckily, phenomenal technology. Instead of open heart surgery, which it used to be, it's a catheter that goes into the vein and up into this heart, and it puts a device that blocks.
All right. You know what that means, don't you? We're going to have to come back next time to hear the rest of that story from Craig. Yes. All right. So he is just getting started. Don't worry. It's on topic. Some people take a little time to warm up to give you all the details. But one of the things that he did say is that in order to live your best life, you have to be your best self in every aspect of your life. So, in order to heal yourself, you have to take the necessary steps in order to evaluate every area of your life, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, socially, all the areas, to see what the need is in those areas, what parts of you need to heal in each area, and then do the work for that. All right. He says, no one comes into adulthood with a clean slate, without trauma, without sensitivities or bad habits. We all have stuff that we need to work on. And then he talked about the three different desires: the desire to fight or to battle, the desire to have the beauty of pursuit, and the desire for adventure. And this is something that all helps us when it comes to the healing process. So if you are in the process of healing, which I believe we all are, right? It's a journey, it's ongoing. I want you all to remember, do what's best for you. Everything doesn't work for everyone. Just because it's suggested doesn't mean it's required, right? It's a recommendation, and you might have to do trial and error so that you can figure out what works best for you. If you need to talk to someone, if you need to work out more, if you need to isolate yourself and do more writing, to go in deeper, do some meditation, some more meditative practices, mindfulness. Um, there's a lot of different ways that you can heal yourself, but the main thing is, don't keep it to yourself. Like, you could be by yourself and have that isolation, but don't keep what's going on in you. You have to let it out, or it's going to eat you up. And it doesn't just affect one area, it affects all areas. So stress doesn't just affect you internally, it affects your body, your physicality, your mindset, all of the things. All of it's connected. So just being mindful of how you are interacting with yourself, and how you are how healthy your relationship is with yourself when it comes to things that you've been through and dealing with those things. All right, so just be mindful of that. If you got to take a walk, take a walk. If you have to leave the environment, leave. If you have to do something different, please do, for your health, because your health is your wealth, and that's the number one most important thing in the world. Not money, not fame, not recognition, not things, your health. Make sure you get it right, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all of the areas, right? Make sure you are tending to every aspect of you so that you can be your best self. All right, so that is all that we have for you today. Make sure to comment what has helped you over the years, whether it's therapy, whether it's doing your own thing, nursing yourself back, eating the right foods, being around the right environment, talking to people, isolating yourself, writing things down, exercising, doing all the things that might help you with healing. I've done all of the above. I'm doing all of the above, and it's helping me. And I hope that it helps you. All right. So we're going to get a little more intimate. Might give you some more details next time, but you got to come back. All right. Just remember, showcase your talent show, 2 for 1 special. I hope you all enjoyed our showcase. Make sure to come back each and every month, the last Sunday of the month, so that you can participate and win a prize. If you are a contestant, if you just want to share your art as a feature, or share what you got going on in your business or your brand as a sponsor. We got so much going on, from Meeting of the Minds Mondays, Q&A Wednesdays, Freestyle Fridays. We'll be back. Our subscribers will know first and foremost before everyone else. So make sure you subscribe. And our podcast, our seminars, so much going on, right? We got a lot going on. But stay connected with us, all right, so that you don't miss out on anything. All right, well, that is all the time I have for you today, but I hope you got something out of it. I hope that you are continuing on your healing journey as I'm continuing on mine. We are in this together. You are never alone. And what you've been through, somebody else done went through something similar. So don't think that you're by yourself. All right. We got you. God got you. And until next time, I hope you continue to heal yourself. I hope you have an amazing day and an awesome rest of your week. Intelexx here, and welcome Intelexx Artrepreneur Agency, the Indeed for Artists. If you want to be a part of the intellectual community, check us out. We have so much going on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and everywhere in between. And we even got our own app, okay? So make sure to check us out. Go to Intelexx.com. Go to our link tree. Look us up on social media at Intelexx APC so that we can best serve you. All right, we thank you so much for being a part of our vision. You know, we appreciate you. And we wouldn't be here without all of our amazing subscribers and supporters. Don't forget to sign up for the talent show every month, and someone always leaves with a prize. And don't forget to take advantage of all of our special offers, our events, our merch, our resources, our referrals, because we are here to serve you, okay? And thank you for the love. Until next time.